union rules, and it was a closed shop union, which meant they pretty much made the rules, and it was bullshit, and I'm sure it still is. So again, I salute you guys that are still there. Couldn't let him go for his own good. So one day, Cleve no call no shows. Day 2, no call no show. Holy shit. Okay, I don't have to find this guy dead. Day 3, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm talking to my straddle crane operator. His name is Pat. He was in his mid-40s, good guy, one of those laid-back operators that you like to have on your side because nothing excites him, and he's seen it all. Here comes Cleve. I haven't even had coffee yet. This motherfucker comes up to me and says, "Ron, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Cleve, where the fuck you been?" He said, "That's what I need to talk to you about." All right, talk. Can we go over here in private? Yep, you bet. So I take about 6 steps to the left. I said, "All right, Cleve, spill it. Where you been?" "Well, I went to the doctor, and I found out that I don't have carpal tunnel. I don't have tendonitis. A vampire bit me on my neck and drained me of my blood." 5 a.m. I'm 22 years old. This motherfucker just told me he got bit by a vampire. That's why he hadn't been at work. I'd heard a lot of excuses up to that point. I was in jail. Baby mama hid my boots. My car caught on fire. I'd heard a lot of fucking excuses why I hadn't been to work. I thought I'd heard them all until that day. And it's yet to be topped. And I'm now 49 years old, and I've been in this industry the whole fucking time. I haven't skipped out and decided to do porn or fucking take on a career of cake decorating at any point, because it's the only goddamn thing I'm good at, except for making people laugh sometimes. Hasn't been topped. Got bit by a goddamn vampire, is what he told me. A vampire bit me on my neck and drained me of my blood. I hadn't had coffee yet even. Wait, are you trying to tell me that you're anemic? Is that what your doctor told you? You're anemic. And I'm giving him an out. And he goes, "No. A vampire bit me on my neck and drained me of my blood." Okay. Well, Cleve, why don't you jump in that pot with Shaggy, get that thing stripped, and I'll talk to you later. I gotta go talk to Pat. So I'll walk back up to Pat, and Pat's sitting there just like, what'd he say? You know, he couldn't wait. I said, "Pat, I don't think you'd believe me if I told you." And he goes, "Try me." He just told me, that motherfucker just told me he got bit by a vampire, and that's why he hadn't been at work. And Pat goes, "Yeah, you're right. I don't believe you." So this spreads like wildfire. And my supervisor at the time was a guy we called Fudd. And we called him Fudd because it was a completely different time. It was the 90s. And you could make fun of someone because they had a speech impediment as a child and talked like Elmer Fudd by giving them a nickname like Fudd. So Joey Riley was his name. Great guy. I freaking loved working under that guy. I learned a lot from him, and I still respect him this day. But we called him Fudd. And you know what? Fuck you is a different time. And so I see Fudd coming up into his shack. And I'm like, all right, I got to go tell him about this. So I go up there. By this time, it's 6 a.m. when Fudd shows up. I walk in the trailer. I'm like, "Joey, Fudd, hey, man. Fudd, we got to talk." He said, "This about Cleve getting bit by the vampire?" So how the fuck do you know that? He said he brought a doctor's excuse into the production office that said, "Please excuse Cleve Johnson for vampire bite to the neck." And I'm like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. Fucker's crazy. He's bringing doctor's notes in that say this shit, man. What are we going to do about this? Fudd lights a cigarette, looks out the window. I mean, we're talking straight up Paul Newman shit, and says, well, the way I see it, here in about an hour, when the sun comes up, if that son of a bitch doesn't burst into flames, it's an unexcused absence.